Says you're streaming live.
And you're good.
Okay. Call this meeting at Timberville Town Council order, March 11th, 2021. AC, please lead off on the authority to conduct meeting electronically, please.
All right. So for the 10th month, we are meeting electronically. The authority to do that was provided through the Declaration of Local Emergency, Resolution authorizing electronic public meetings and emergency ordinance to address continuity of operations, which was adopted by Council May 26th of 2020, was effective for 6 months and then was renewed or extended November 12th, 2020 for an additional 6 months from the deadline of the original orders. Members of the Town Council and town staff are participating through the Zoom conferencing platform, and the meeting is being streamed for public viewing on the town's YouTube channel.
Okay.
All the required notifications were sent, and any votes tonight will be taken by roll call.
Okay, thank you, AC. I know we're now to the proof on the minutes. I did not see a copy of the special minutes. Are they not done yet?
We're going to get those out for the next, either the next council meeting, or if we happen to have a budget meeting of the full council later this month, we can do it at that point.
I just want to make sure I hadn't missed an email somewhere.
No, you didn't miss anything. So.
Okay, so hopefully everyone has had a moment to review the minutes. Do I have any corrections, amendments, changes, anything like that on the minutes? Hearing none, I just need a motion to approve, please.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Natalie, thank you, Natalie. Okay, we'll do our roll. Oh, any further discussion? We'll do our roll call vote. Carl?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Natalie?
Yes.
Ned?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yeah.
And Clarence?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Should be a pretty quick meeting today because we're having our budget meeting, so we'll do a lot of business on that. So we'll be back putting in meetings on Monday and Tuesday. Treasurer's report. You got a copy of Melinda's treasurer's report. You got a copy of the park expenditures that hasn't changed too much, and you also got a copy of what they've done so far with the sports complex. Anyone have any questions on all those items that provided? Yes, sir.
Can you all see the screen? Do you see the treasurer's report on the screen?
I can see it now. Yes, sir.
Okay. Melinda, do you want to jump in here and explain, instead of me butchering it, you can jump in and explain?
Sure. So the copy of the treasurer's report that you all received, if you look on the money market account section, it's $16,000 difference. The one on the screen is correct.
Okay.
So the 1.257, that is the correct amount for the money market account.
Okay. It's always a good correction if it goes up.
It went up.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Melinda? Okay, we'll keep on moving here. Bills for payment. Everyone received their list of bills. Do we have any line item questions or any questions on any of the bills that are being paid? Okay, if not, I need a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you, Clarence. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Carl. All those in favor, oh, excuse me, I keep forgetting, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, I got to do a roll call vote. Carl?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Natalie?
Yes.
Ned?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yeah.
And Clarence?
Yes.
AC spoiled me the other day by having a meeting in person where we could ask people to raise their hands, but I understand Melinda would like to stick with the roll call vote so she can do better notes. I'll try to do a better job on that. Okay, that's bills for payment. AC, while we're talking about the bills, you were doing a little research. We're giving the council as much information as we can about. I know on our income, we kept the budget flat. Basically, we kept the year before last budget. And we kind of ignored any revenue increases we had because we didn't know what to do with the pandemic. I do know you gave me a couple of them. Can you let the council know what you're finding out about how we fared during the pandemic so far?
Sure. I'm going to throw a document up on the screen here and kind of go through this. I'll try to go through it pretty quick. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. So I went through, these are just the revenues. The expenditures are a little bit harder to extrapolate because so many of them are completely unknown. The expenditures don't exhibit the same trends that revenues tend to. So all this is showing is the revenue section of the current budget. And went through, you can see we have the line item here, what was budgeted and what we've collected so far this year. Bank stock tax, you can see that's what we're over. Bank stock tax is a one-time per year disbursement. So that's what we'll get. It was actually, the disbursement was a little bit more than that, but we back, what was it, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, there were 2 years after BB&T had left town that for some reason they had paid bank stock tax to the town. So we had to, this year we turned around and sent back what they had paid for when they weren't even here. So what we've actually collected in bank stock tax before you take out that deduction was $131,000 and some change. So you can see that one's considerably over what we had expected. And if you remember, when we went through that recap earlier at our budget meeting, the bank stock tax had been trending down. So it's good to see that it's back up. Meals tax, you can see, so the entire top section obviously are, those are positives because we're taking in more than what we had actually budgeted. And when we did the budget this year, we budgeted extremely conservative, especially on certain items because of the pandemic, and we had no idea what effect it was going to have. And I think it's kind of obvious in some of those items. Cigarette tax is one that it's not a regular occurrence. Businesses who buy the cigarette stamps, there's no regularity to when they come in. It's kind of when they run out of them and need more, they'll come and get them. So it's not a regular monthly occurrence. That's why that one's highlighted like that. So that one's, it could be that we don't actually realize that $4,800 extra. It could even be less than, we could actually see a decrease in it. But if it keeps going at what it's going at, what we've seen so far, that's what we would kind of project. Sales tax, as you can see, is considerably up. And that's sales tax, if we haven't explained this for our newer council members yet, and as a refresher for the members who've been on council for a while, sales tax is a disbursement from the Commonwealth. So all the sales tax in the state goes to the Commonwealth Treasury, and then it's divided out to localities based on the number of school-age children that reside in those localities. So this isn't just showing sales tax from Timberville. This is everything from the entire state put together and then divided up using that formula. So it would appear that over the entire Commonwealth that sales were doing really well. And I know Melinda had done up one as a comparison from last year to this year at the same time. And it was up. What I've shown on the screen is what we budgeted and what we collected. And that was one of the ones that we budgeted very conservatively because of the pandemic. We had no idea how that was going to affect businesses and sales tax. Melinda had done a comparison for the current fiscal year through the end of January compared to the previous fiscal year through the same time period. And it was up $10,000 for the same time period. So it is a true increase and not just a realization because of what we budgeted. We are actually seeing an increase in what we are receiving from the Commonwealth. Snow removal, that's one of those you can't predict. We always put in a base of 3,000. We get certain disbursements for having our equipment rigged. Obviously, we had snow events this year, and our guys ended up out on the roads plowing, keeping the streets cleared. And you can see that that's what we're over on that. Business licenses, that one was really good to see. I think it shows a lot about the microeconomy here in Timberville, how businesses fared during the pandemic. And that is a direct result of business in Timberville. We have 4 businesses in town that make up, that account for more than 75% of our entire business license revenue. And from last year to this year, those 4 businesses averaged an increase of 20% in their business. So that's very positive. Back when Walmart was looking to locate in Timberville, one of the things that they did an economic impact analysis, and part of that analysis talked about how much money was going from Timberville to Harrisonburg. People are leaving Timberville to go to Harrisonburg to shop, and what we might be realized by keep having a business like that here and keeping people in Timberville. And I think the pandemic has maybe proven some of that, in that people probably were staying in Timberville more. They weren't going to Harrisonburg. Stores might not have been open in Harrisonburg, so they were potentially spending more time in Timberville doing their shopping local. And I think that might be what we're seeing in that business license line. Sanitation fees, I didn't put sanitation fees in the shortfall. That it kind of somewhat balances out, but that's one of the things we knew we were going to have to look at were the rates on the trash collection. Donations, that Belinda, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's that includes all of what Pilgrims had donated for the park projects. So that's why that one's really.
That was Pilgrims, and we got and Cargill donated some to the memorial also.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why that one's really off compared to what we had budgeted. Connection fees, we just had more connections than what we had budgeted for. We were budgeting conservatively based on the previous year, and developers decided to find vacant lots and start doing some infill building. And so we just realized a couple more connections than what we had originally planned on. Sewer revenue, you can see, was a little bit more. And then if you go down into the shortfall section, you can see water revenue was under. Sewer typically brings in, just because of, for whatever the reason is, sewer generates more revenue than water. Part of that's because some of the areas are provided water by food processors, water co-op, and we just see primarily sewer expenses from that. So part of what this is, we would have seen more, probably more sewer revenue and more water revenue, but we look back at it, the school is a huge user, and some of the other businesses that use larger amounts of water were definitely affected by the pandemic. School wasn't in for a long time, so there was nobody there to use water. So I think that's what might have affected some of that. And then the other things, court fines, police department was being very cautious in protecting the employees and the public as far as trying to minimize contact during the pandemic. I think that might be where court fines has come down, while we're seeing that. And the rest of them were just the ones that were a little bit closer to $1,000 or over that I could see. Everything else, all the other lines throughout, the best I can tell, without having gotten into it really, really deep so far, everything else seems pretty close to being right on target. So.
You have any questions? We wanted to get, our AC wanted to get this out. So, we all were very cautious about the pandemic because we didn't know how it was going to affect us, but it looks like Timberville so far is faring very well. So that's a great job to everyone in Timberville and all the planning we've done. So congratulations to all. AC, you got anything else on that part, or anyone else have a comment on that?
Unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions? Okay. Then we'll move down to consideration of planning commission member. AC, you wanna
Sure. So was it Tuesday night? Monday night, Tuesday night? Well, either Monday night or Tuesday night. I've got so many meetings going on here recently. The ad hoc committee of the council, which was the mayor, Sharon and Natalie, and then the planning commission, current planning commission members met to interview a potential planning commission member. And they interviewed Brad Berry, and after the interview and talking to him for quite a while, the committee voted to make a recommendation to council to appoint Brad Berry to the Timberville Planning Commission.
To do so, we'll need a motion from the council. Do I have a motion? Oh, yes, Ned.
I'll make that motion that we appoint Brad Berry to the planning commission.
Okay, do I have a second?
I have a question about this and a concern. Is now the time to bring that up or no?
Let's see if the motion gets seconded, and when we have discussion, you can bring that up. Okay, do I have a second? Okay, Natalie seconded. Now any further discussion? Now you can go, Debbie.
Okay, thank you. I do have a concern. I know I saw AC's email about he researched it to see if there was any kind of conflict or anything that states that two members of the same household couldn't serve together. But I do have a concern about having two members in the same household serving in the same capacity on the same commission, and just the ability or the willingness to be able to make objective reviews and decisions independent of each other. Just wanted to bring that forward and see if anybody else had those same types of concerns or questions regarding this.
Anyone have, I know we asked that sort of question during the interview process with, is there any issues with, each of you having a different decision and so forth, and they were very comfortable in doing it together. But does anyone have any concerns about the discussion part of it?
It's always concerned me a little bit about, someone in the same household, husband, wife, serving like that.
Right.
Maybe it's undue influence to, make one's mind up, you might say, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. We were talking about it. You could literally have two in household serving on council if they got a vote in and elected, which I never thought about. Well, we have a motion and a second. So we're going to go ahead and we need to have a vote. Carl?
I have to say no.
No. Debbie?
No.
Natalie?
Yes.
Ned? Ned? Can't hear you.
Yes.
Sharon? I can't. Yeah, you're on mute, Sharon. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
And Clarence?
Yes.
Okay. So 4-2 vote, then he is now on the planning commission. Okay, AC, from what I'm seeing, we've run out of items to discuss today. I do know we have a meeting at 6:30 on Monday for the police committee.
Right.
And Tuesday, 6:30 for the public works.
Right.
Just so people get more in detail about, what the chief is looking for as far as funding, and Chris is looking for funding. We're going to have those in person, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Just like we did the other day. So everyone show up at the council at 6:30. He's got it laid out very well. We definitely have more than 6 feet separation and all that CDC kind of stuff. Does anyone have any other questions or right now?
Will masks be required at those
Yes.
meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we will have masks. We take temperatures as everybody comes in. We go through everything to ensure everybody's safety.
Okay.
You have anything else, AC?
No, I don't have anything else this evening.
Does anyone on the council have anything else to bring forth at this time?
I do. I have just, the museum is now open.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And I guess one more thing I have, you're seeing the park what they're doing at the sports complex. If you're around during the day, go visit Chris. They're very proud of what they're doing, and they're getting an awful lot done for the little bit amount of money they've spent so far. So if you're around there, just go by, visit, drop in. I'm sure they'd appreciate the visit. And if there's nothing else, we'll make this a short meeting, and we'll have some long meetings on Monday, Tuesday. And then again, on those Monday and Tuesday meetings, the entire council's invited. It's just, in all meetings, the entire council is invited. It's just the committee members who want to be there specifically. Okay. Well, thank you all.